Pablo, you got some late runners here, man. We gotta sew that up. Hey guys, I just want to say hi real quick. I'll be listening in, but you guys are lucky today. You've got the great Yuri Casco. So Yuri won't say it, but she's a multi-million-dollar Latino fundraiser in Los Angeles. She is like a chainsaw through anything negative feelings, negative perceptions, people being big llorones. Yuri is a powerhouse. She's also tiny. She's like 4'8". But I tell you, she's our resident Guatemalteca and a badass, badass, badass. I heard about Yuri before I brought her on the board. People said, "Oh, there's this woman in East LA doing planned gifts in East LA." I'm from East LA. I'm like, "Give mentiras. That's bullshit." No one does that. And then I heard again, "Oh yeah, they had your name wrong, Yuri. It was like Yolanda or some shit." Finally, I found this woman. She's real. I saw her on LinkedIn and I reached out. So that's why she's on our board. And you guys are lucky to learn from her today. Now I'm going to shut up, take it away, let Hurricane Casco do what she's going to do.
Thank you, Armando. You're too kind, but thank you. I will take the compliments. I need him. I think I had the pleasure of meeting a couple of you, maybe in some of our conferences, maybe in the recent conference. Russ, I see you. So it's nice to see you guys that are taking advantage of La Vanguardia. It's really nice because you get a more slow pace of the presentations that we try to pack in one day in the boot camp. I think that the conferences are like a boot camp, but now you are really taking a deep dive on on the themes or the things that we need to learn. And I think more than ever, we need a network of support. And really, La Vanguardia and Somos is that network. And I say that really openly because my community has become a ghost town. I live right next to Huntington Park, if you're not familiar with Huntington Park, and South Central, but that's where the raids have been taking place since June. And it just was heartbreaking to see what was happening in my community. It's become a ghost town. And now to see it happening in Oxnard, in the place that we were just recently having fun as fundraisers and cheering each other. So this is really a good community, a network of support. And I can tell you that it's kept me focused right now when I've been a little heartbroken. It's kept me focused on the work at hand. And more than ever, it has kept me motivated on the importance of fundraising and the impact that we have in our communities. So I am really glad to be here. Pavel, I think you're going to be forwarding. Perfect. So a little bit about what we're going to talk about today. It is very basic. It is marketing. It's called guerrilla marketing, right? Guerrilla is you get a group of people together and you figure it out. And in many cases, our nonprofits don't have a group of people together to fundraise. You're the one person wearing multiple hats. So that's the reality. So what's your marketing budget? What's your promotion strategy? Does it include social media? Those are the three questions when we start this session to think about as we're talking through this. And honestly, everything that I share with you is things that I've implemented in the organizations that I've worked with. And I work in an organization that was raising $6 million, and it went from $6 million to $16 million by the time I left. And it was really team effort. We had 4 fundraisers in our team and 2 support staff and a workforce development program that really was kind of like the face of our fundraising engine. But we didn't have a marketing budget, we didn't have a promotion strategy, and we were building social media because it was new. So what I'm sharing with you, it's very basic, but it's things that work. And if you're not doing it, then it's a missing opportunity. And that's what I want to share with you. A little bit about me. I have 20 years of healthcare philanthropy experience. Currently, I am working for an organization, a wonderful organization called Pacific Clinics. We provide behavioral services throughout the state of California. We have 60 sites. And currently, we are working on a capital campaign, a 3-year capital campaign, raising $11 million is our goal. And I am one of 2 directors of Major Gifts, focusing completely on major gifts because we believe that we need to diversify our fundraising. And that's the one area where we have a lot of room for growth. I've done a little bit of everything from donor engagement, capital campaigns, employee giving, nonprofit management. I know a little more than I want to know from the donor database Razor's Edge. I had to learn it during COVID because we lost our database person, and I don't regret it. It actually was very beneficial, and it helped me understand also social media and strategies on marketing. But just a little bit about me. And one thing that I'm really excited is that this year I'll be finishing. I'm actually doing my culminating program, my master in public health. I'm finishing it up this year, almost done. I'm doing my combination program this session, so that's exciting. And I have a bachelor's in business management, and so that's pretty cool. And then, and I'll talk a little bit about Razor's Edge a little bit forward. And then one thing that I'm really proud of myself is, first, I am a mother of a 6-year-old. I am a wife of a Salvadorian man, and a daughter. I am the oldest of 5 children. So that tells you a little bit about my personality. And then I am a sister and a community member. And that's really who I am, but that's really what makes me very passionate about the work I do. No matter what type of job I pick and get, any project I'm working on, I'm very passionate about it. Thanks. So let's start with the big question. Do you have a budget for your organization? You can write in the comments if you have a budget or not when it comes to marketing. And I'll tell you right now what we have in our site. 0 budget. We have no budget. Do we have a marketing team? Pacific Clinics itself, the organization, has a marketing team. All the places that I work have a marketing team. Most of the time, their team is working on business development. Fundraising is not what they really work on. So what we've done in the past, I always put this picture of pan because I love coffee, like a true Guatemalan. I love coffee. I have café con pan. And I've used this to build relationships with the marketing team and my organizations. No matter the organization I'm working with, they have one person in the marketing team. I go visit that person and I become friends with them because I want to understand how they do it, what they're doing, and what their goal is. And do they have impact stories? Do they have client stories? Do they have anything that can help me to make my job easier? And how do I translate whatever story they already wrote into fundraising, a story of impact? Let's go to the next slide. So that's why I always put that there. It's all about networking and relationship building. So if you don't have the budget, it's really looking at that. The other thing that we have here, let me see. The other thing that we have here is what's out there, right? What's currently out there if you have no budget? Social media. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And I put those because those are the most popular right now. Maybe Threads, because I've seen a lot of people using Threads, what used to be Twitter. Like, it's been very popular with nonprofits about sharing their stories or sharing a little bit about whatever's going on in their organization. Canva, I don't know if if a lot of people know, but I like to share this. Canva is free for nonprofits. You just have to register. As a nonprofit, there's a process to register your account for that. And when you have access to Canva as a nonprofit, you get premiums. You get access to the premium account. And the premium allows you to have templates. There's all these things that are pre-created for you, so you don't have to start from scratch. So if you don't have a budget, that's a good way to start because you can have the exact same flyer converted into an Instagram post, into a Facebook post, into a story. There is 3 different or 5 different ways that you can use the exact same story in the same platforms, but tell it different ways. And I share this because there is, you have to think about your donor base. Is your donor older or younger? And I share this. I was just having this conversation today with one of her donors. I had a tour, and we were talking about the different ways to communicate with people. And she's like, "Can I tag you on Instagram?" I'm like, "Sure, I have that." And then the mom is like, well, I have it on Facebook. Can I tag you on Facebook? And I'm like, sure, I have that too. But I just installed Snapchat because my sister, who's the youngest in my family, that's how she communicates. So you have to think about your donor base, and you have to think about the strategy that you develop. It's the same story, but how you tell it will differ based on the demographics of your donor. So if you have not looked at that, and I haven't done it, we're currently going through this process at my shop. We're looking at the demographics of our donors. I'm preparing for a annual giving campaign for Giving Tuesday. So right now is the time to start planning for that. Right now is the time for you to start looking at your donor, look at your demographics, and look at how old are they? Are they spouses? Are they single? Are they college students? Who are these people that you want to send this information? I will say, do not underestimate your clients or the people that you serve. A lot of times we think, oh, well, we're serving the low income community, so let's not reach out to them because they have no money. You'll be surprised. They're the ones that are receiving your benefits. They're the ones that can give you $5, $20 a month, $10 a month, and nobody has asked them. So it's a good donor acquisition strategy. And that's what I'm currently doing in my shop. We're going through, I send it to my donor, my database person, and I send a list of things that I need him to run. And one of them is, I need to know the demographics of our donors. How old are they? One, because I want to do a planned giving email during August because it's make a will month. So if you're not thinking about that, that might be a good strategy. You want to send it to anybody who is 60 years and above, or maybe 55 and above, and tell them make a will. But also in that information you're sending out, remember us in your will, and you share a little bit about your organization, but you're sharing with them what's important to the donor. And in this case is, hey, when was the last time you looked at your will? If you haven't looked at your will in the last 3 years, it's already outdated. You might want to do that now. This month is make a will month. It's really simple, and you can use Canva for that. Like, it can help you create different colors. You can upload your logo. You can also upload your colors that you use, and it automatically implements it on any template that you have. So if you're creating, I did that at USC. I used to work for USC Arcadia Hospital, and we were rebranding. They were transitioning from Methodist Hospital to USC. USC is very particular about the brand. I uploaded the logo in 3 different formats, and anytime I will create something, it will give me the colors of the brand. These are your brand colors. So it's a good way. It saves you time. It will take time the first time, but after that, it really makes it makes it easier for you. Then Adobe, there's flyers, emails, and your database. So this is the things that I'm telling you that you currently have. Even if it's an Excel sheet where you're tracking your donor information, it has information for you. And how you develop the communication strategy, it's really valuable because it will help you build to communicate with your donors. So looking at your database, it's probably the number one step that I will recommend you before you start working on your communication plan. Because you will know, do I dedicate more time to an Instagram post, or do I dedicate more time to a Facebook post, or which one will need more time? And honestly, what takes time, it's developing the writing and finding the images that you want to use. Once you have the story, once you have the image, what happens next is you start using the programs that you have available for free to tell the story in that format. And let's go to the next slide. And that's what Pavel was showing you right now. So if you look at this is USC Arcadia Hospital. In 2023, it was the first time that in 2022, they affiliated with USC. They were Methodist Hospital. Their colors were all blue and white. And Methodist is a religious entity. So it was very different from USC. And I needed to come in March and hit the floor running. I got hired in January. By March 3rd, I needed to have this event. So I am big on, I need to implement the logo, I need the brand. So I created an Instagram post, and I wanted to keep the whole Mardi Gras. It's the theme, it's the entity, it's the identity of the organization. So we kept that, but I started incorporating the yellow. You see how the gold color is in that post? This is an Instagram post on the physician. Now, the community is in San Gabriel Valley. 65% of our population is Asian, and we were honoring an Asian physician. So think about your community, think about the people you serve, and think about what you're doing. You want to make sure that your images represent your community or the people that you serve. Then I had a flyer created with the physician as well. I did one photo session with the doctor, and marketing was not available to take photos for me. I went and took photos with my cell phone. Okay, so this is like you're thinking outside the box. It's simple. These are tools and resources that we have at our hands right now, at our fingertips. I created a flyer because the physician told me, you know what, I have patients that come to my shop, and I want them to see that I'm getting this award. And if they want to donate, how do I refer them to you? So I created this flyer for his office, and I put my business card all over, and I went to place it at his office so that he can share with them that he was being honored. We were selling tickets and all these things. Then we had a Facebook post, and it's the one on the right. But this Facebook post also went out as an email. We sent out an e-blast to our donors announcing that the festival was taking place, that we were honoring this physician that everybody loved. And then it says register today. And you see how it says register now, and it has a link. That was a button for people to click on, and in our website, they can register to buy a sponsorship or buy a ticket. So we made it easier for the donor, but we also went out and met the donor where they are, whether they're on Instagram, Facebook, or at the clinic. You have to think about where is your donor and who are you reaching out for. The for White Memorial, which is a hospital, it's a non-for-profit hospital in Boyle Heights. 80% of our population is on Medi-Cal or Medicare. So you can imagine the current situation. It's a little, it's taking a toll, right, in the community. But that community has that hospital has been there for more than 120 years. So they have a history. It's their community. It's really their community. So when we created a social media campaign for them, and even if you go to their Facebook today, if you have a Facebook account, look up Adventist Health Y Memorial. They have their own Facebook page separate from Adventist Health, because the hospital is community run, and we're always posting in there if you see it now. But that started with the foundation. We insisted on having our own foundation page on Facebook because our donors were in Facebook. Even our students that were coming through our patients were on Facebook. Our community volunteers, students that are in high school or college volunteering at the hospital, were in Facebook. And the goal for us was, we insisted on having a social media presence, that we also asked to create our LinkedIn account. So if you don't have a LinkedIn account, you want to make sure you have a LinkedIn account. But how we stay active in those accounts, it's what matters. And so we will use it to post our events, but we will also use it if there was a new cohort of volunteers starting at the hospital. We will take a picture of the students and say, hey, a new cohort of students are starting today volunteering in the hospitals. If you see them in the hallways when you come to our hospital, say hello. And we will put a picture of all the students with their uniform. And that photo was taken during orientation. So the kids are here already, they're gonna volunteer in the hospital, but we were introducing them to the community, and we were also highlighting a program that we raise money for in our Facebook page, LinkedIn page, and they don't use Instagram as much. But that's something that, again, started with the foundation. We needed our story to be told by the foundation, from the fundraiser perspective, instead of just highlighting every time we had a new physician. That was great for business. But for fundraising, it didn't really tell the impact, right? And that's what we want to use these tools for benefit. So next slide. And then one of the key pieces that I added here, because even though we talk about business development, and I shared that a little bit, you need to think about relationships as well. And I will share a case study with you guys later. I think this is the session where I have a case study. But I like to add a case study because that way you can see how this benefits you. But community partners are always helpful too. If you have a marketing campaign, or let's say right now you're preparing for Giving Tuesday and you're doing an e-blast, and I will say for Giving Tuesday, even for any event that you're having, and this is what we're currently going through right now, we want to build momentum. Right now, our donors in my current site, our donors have not been really engaged for the past 3 years. There's been a lot of transition, so our donors have not engaged. So what are we doing? We're sending e-blasts. We did an open house, knowing that maybe only one person will show up. But guess what? 4 people showed up. And for us, that's a win. We're bringing them. The word got out that there was an open house and some people missed it. So even having an open house, we did a little flyer. I did it on Canva, and actually marketing couldn't do something for us in like quick turnaround. And I was like, it's okay, I'll do it on Canva. The advantage of really knowing guerrilla style marketing, I went in on Canva, uploaded my logo, and did a flyer summer. I put summer, and then boom, it gave me something. And I just put the main thing: open house, summer camp is here, and the date of the open house, the time, and where to call and email for attending, for RSVP. But now we're looking at community partners. And I reached out to a community partner via email, never responded. And I thought it was strange. I called, never answered. I couldn't even leave a voicemail. But I keep insisting. And today was the open house. So yesterday, I reached out one more time. No answer. And I was like, okay, I give it a shot. I'm just going to have to walk over there maybe one of these days. I don't live in the area, but I was like, I'll figure it out tomorrow. The person called me 30 minutes later, and I didn't recognize the number because it's somebody I don't know. But the person called me out and said, hey, I'm the local, she said, as soon as she said the name, I knew who it was. I was like, oh my gosh, you're Ruth. Yes. And I was like, I'm sorry, I couldn't leave your voice. But she's like, no, we've been closed for summer break. But I'm here, you can come by. And I shared with her the flyer. I said, I sent you a flyer. I haven't heard from you. I used the flyer to connect with her. And I said, well, I have you on the phone. Can I email you my flyer? And I sent the flyer. So these programs, or these flyers, or these emails, anything that you create can also be used to engage your community partners. And in my case, for her, she was like, oh, we haven't heard from them in a while. That's great. Can you come by and visit me? She's like, come to the school. I'm here every day. And I was like, oh, perfect. Can I send you the flyer? Confirm that I got the right email. And sure enough, we had the wrong email. So you can use these tools to re-engage donors. And now we have an opportunity. But looking at your community partners, who are your community partners? Why Memorial went through a really difficult, challenging time in 2011. It was all over. We were all over the news. It's in the internet. And it was these community partners that really came through to defend us, to speak, or to say, oh, no, we know this hospital. This is world-class care. We know them. They're the best. Who is saying what? No, my child was born there. It didn't have to be us defending ourselves out there. We couldn't say anything because when it comes to patient privacy laws, we are, that's an open investigation. We don't know anything. Let me refer you to community, to the PR organization, right? Department. But our community partners were able to share information. They were also able to become, we did town hall meetings where we can share information about our current programs, what was happening in this hospital, what was coming in the future. And the community partners were the ones hosting us. Come and present in my shop. And they were not too far from the hospital, but that was okay. People didn't feel comfortable coming into the hospital during that time. During COVID, people didn't feel comfortable gathering or coming into the hospital. Our community partners were the ones that said, hey, why don't you do a Facebook town hall meeting? Oh, that's a good idea. And if you look at it today, even today, Chirla is doing lives on Instagram. Why? Because they're meeting their donors, and they're not just their donors, they're meeting their members, the people they serve that are probably hiding, unable to go out without fear, that are not able to participate on current day activities. Shirla is keeping them informed of what they're doing and what's happening through Instagram. They're doing lives. And it's like in their office, I join a couple of them because I like to see what others are doing. We have to learn from each other. But it's in an office, the background is all Chirla programs that they have going on. And then uh, they come up and speak. Whoever the program, whatever program they're trying to showcase that day, that's the person speaking. So think about how you use with the tools that you currently have in a creative way. But again, you're not just thinking about your donor, you gotta consider the people you're serving, and you gotta consider how do you ask them, invite them to get involved in your organization through a gift. And sometimes we think that because they're receiving the services, they're not gonna give, and that's a missed opportunity. I've become a donor of a couple of organizations, including Chirla, because they continuously update people on what they're doing. And it's a constant reminder. I'm like, oh, they were there for me when I needed them the most. They helped me when my family had to go through a naturalization process. They were there when we had questions about NACARA and immigration reform. So I am grateful. I may not be your $100,000 donor. I may not be your $10,000 donor. But guess what? $500 a year are going to the nonprofit. And if I'm one person, I'm pretty sure there's like 100 people giving some sort of 20, 50, $40 to their nonprofits on online giving and monthly. So these are opportunities for you to start considering, because if you are planning a Giving Tuesday campaign, that's a good way to launch your monthly giving program. That's a good time to launch your monthly giving program. Always give your donors the option of give one time or monthly. Because when they see those options in your website, from an email, from a post, when they click on that link and they go to your page and they see it, they will consider the monthly giving. So think about that. And then your community partners, if you have them, if they are in social media, tag them, friend them, follow them, because they will also be your, they can reshare your stories. If you know someone in their organization, like the donor today who's here, she was like, can I tag you? And I'm like, sure. My personal accounts are not tagged to my nonprofit, but you better believe that anytime my nonprofit shares something on LinkedIn or Facebook, I reshare that in my personal accounts, because I keep in touch with some of our donors. I meet the donor where the donor is. So if the donor is on Facebook, I know he may not see my company page, but he will see my page, and I will be sharing that information that my organization is sharing. So you think about that. Your community partners are not just physically in your community, they're also in social media. So you can always partner up as well when you're posting your programs, when you're sharing your programs. If you're partnering up with someone for professionals, I'll talk a little bit about this because Armando mentioned the Plan Giving program. This was key for us to be successful in Plan Giving in Boyle Heights. I went through professionals, and I needed to create a Plan Giving committee, because I knew I don't know anybody who's wealthy in this community, but the professionals, the accountants, the financial advisors, the vendors, the owner of Sige, the people that are doing sending money to abroad to their home country, they know who is the people that has the funds. So we created a committee out of these professionals, and we share with them our programs. We share with them about wills, and we told them, a lot of our community members may not have children. We may think that they do, but you'll be surprised. There's a group of people that don't have children, or their children have become professionals themselves, left the community, live in San Francisco now because they're in the Silicon Valley making big bucks. They're not planning to move back to Boyle Heights. What are the parents doing? Are there widows? We started having these conversations with the professionals, and they were the ones that started self-identifying donors. And I was very proud of that because it was those relationships that help us. But I had my little flyer that I created in Microsoft Word. Like now we have Canva. I was creating all of these like the 1990s guys, but we're now in the 21st century. Like we have better tools now. So think about that. Then we have schools. If we had a health fair in the community, I will walk to the school surrounding the hospital. There was 3 schools, and I will walk there and just, or I will drive on my way into work and drop off the flyers. Hey, we're having a health fair. Come by and check it out. We will send it to our board members. We're having a health fair. Come and see firsthand the work that we're doing. Come and see the impact of the funds that you're giving. So all these things that you create on Canva or any other software that you may use can be reusable, and keep it updated as well. Don't just create it and then 3 years go by and you don't update it. And I say that because the first thing I will say too is look up at your website. Go through your website as a donor, not as a fundraiser. Go through your website as a donor. And I say this because that's the first thing I did when I started working here at Pacific Clinics. I went through the website, and we're going through a redesign of our website right now. Because what I'm telling you, it's what I share with my team. I said, this is very challenging for a donor. If I make more than 2 clicks, I'm lost. I should be able to make a donation on the second click. Find what I need to know about you in the first page. And in that first page, call to action. You can do more. Click here for more details. And when I click there, it's donate $1, donate. These are the programs that we raise money for. You have to think about from the perspective of a donor, okay? So look at your website. Let's go to the next page. I know somebody had a question about ChatGPT.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Yes, I will share a little bit about it with you. I will say if you have your private account, not a public account through Google ChatGPT, and you don't have to sign in, because the moment you feed that information into that, it becomes theirs. Okay? So if you have a private account, and I'll share this because it happened to me today. If you have a private account, my company has its own account. It's protected because we pay for it, right? So I have to log in through my email, and I can use it for my own purposes. I had a tough email come through today, and I had to respond and acknowledge that we left out the donor out of the loop. The donor was complaining, no communication from you guys in so many years, like months. Who are you? Where are you? Like very specific. And I wanted to respond in a very polite way, acknowledging a mistake that I didn't make, but also acknowledging the donor's concerns. So I went to ChatGPT, but the one that my company pays for, and it's tied to my email, not the one that is public. And I type in there, draft a response to this email, focusing on, I was very specific, focusing on donor engagement. I typed that thing, and then it gave me a draft. And then when I saw the draft, I was like, oh my gosh, I could have not written it better. Then I went in and made it my own. I changed things because I'm like, that's not my voice, but it addressed the, I am so sorry you were left out of the communication. That was definitely unintentional. I will dig deeper into my database and see what happened. Moving forward, like it addressed the concerns of the donor. And then I had told the ChatGPT and donor engagement, focus on engagement. I didn't put donor, I put focus on engagement. At the end, the emails ended with, I would love to give you a personal tour. Are you open for a call, meeting, or it gave me options. I deleted all that. I just put, I would love to give you a personal tour. when will be a good time? I'm available this week or next week. What works for you? So it's good because it saves me a ton of time. If I would have written that email, it would have taken me an hour because I want it to be so perfect. I wanted to just make sure that I acknowledge the feelings, make sure that I apologize without really sounding like it's my fault, but it is like organization's fault. So it's good to use it for that purpose. On the other hand, I will say, don't use it to write your grant. If you're gonna write a letter, maybe you want to write your letter first and then feed it and say, give me feedback, or can you make this better, or can you improve the focus on that. You have to feed it the way you want it so that it doesn't just give you a very unsavory, because it has to have your own touch, to be honest with you. And one donor, one of our funders at the Oxnard conference share with us that they can also feed any grant that you give them. They put it through their own chat GPT software that they use, whichever they use, to identify keywords to see if it is created by chat GPT. And if that is the case, they disregard those applications. They want to make sure that they're looking for authentic programs, people that took the time to write them. So, I mean, you can use it, create a draft for you, but then you have to still come in and echarle salsa a tus tacos. You know, like they always say, you still have to do your own seasoning. Don't rely on that heavily on that. And Russ, you wanted to add something to that?
Yeah, no, I agree. And I was just more on the line of marketing because I didn't go to school for marketing, but I have been utilizing it to help frame some social media posts because it will like Instagram has a different style, Twitter only so many words, and Instagram or LinkedIn. I recently, because we do have our own private through Office 365, it's called Copilot, but it's the same darn thing. But
Mm-hmm.
anyways, just as you're talking about Canva, that utilizing Chat GPT, we're still you, right? Still our flavor and our wording, it does polish up things and especially in social media posts. It
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that was exactly what we said, but better, so
Yes. And that's why I say use it to feed it. Like you feed something. You say, I draft something and here it is. Please make it better. And that's exactly what I was doing this morning because I'm like, this email has to be so politically correct. And I do not want to burn any bridges. And this donor, we've been trying to get a hold of for the past 6 months since I started working. And I'm like, and now I'm getting a negative response. But to me, I was like, this is a win. I got a response. So I was excited. I wanted to make sure that I was strategic about my response. And with social media, when it comes to the marketing piece that you talk about, Russ, that's a good example. Like LinkedIn gives you 150 characters, I believe. So you might want to make it 2 sentences and you put your paragraph, whatever you're going to use in your email. That's a good way to save on time and productivity, but you have to be very mindful. I am grateful that somebody added there, there is an environmental issue relying on AI, like using it 100% of the time. You gotta think about all that stuff. Um, I was a big non-AI user. I just recently started using it, and I'll tell you because I always felt like I was cheating. It was just personal. I just felt like, no, like I'm cheating, and no, it's just like it has to be me. So my way around was, okay, let me create my draft, and then I'll fit it, and I'll say, make it better and focus on these, and that has helped me feel less guilty. But I think there's always like you gotta think about it from both ends because the environmental piece is one piece that I have not dig deep into that, but I have heard a lot about that, and we need to be conscious of that. Also, if your organization is an environmental organization, then you really might not want to use it at all. So these are the things that you need to think about, and it's like, and my husband is a big he's a civil engineer. So he's all about rules and things. And he's the one who was really like, okay, Yuri, I know you don't want to use AI. And he was like, and you shouldn't. He's like, that's good. I'm glad that you feel that way. but you need to save time and you don't have time right now. So use your company's one, the Copilot one. And he's like, and you feed it. You tell it, I have this letter, please make it better. So that way you don't feel bad. You still created your own thing. Like that was the integrity in me. Like I just felt like, I feel like I'm cheating. But then I realized it's a tool. It's not to be misused. So be wise, be aware. That's the importance of the things that we have here. And I mean, we're thinking about you don't have the staff. If you have the staff and the person to do this, then that's a different story, right? But we're talking about we don't have the team. Now, I keep this here, the blood of an organization is the people. And I share this with you because sometimes we get so focused on a campaign, or I'm gonna do this social media campaign and I'm gonna bring in, and we forget about the people that we're trying to reach. We forget about the people that are working for us. So keep that in mind anytime you're creating any type of materials. Who is the people that you're trying to reach so that you develop the right format for them? If you look at your website, is your website too busy? Right now, for my master's program, I have to create an e-profile. I had never heard of that. And I went, they gave us samples and all these things. It's a website, pretty much. I'm creating a website of myself, and I need to upload all these things, and this is what they're sharing with us. You need to make sure it's clear. You need to make sure the image is right. You need to make sure that it's that it has resources. So if you're using programs, that you cite the program. Let's say you're sending an email about workforce development, then there is a link there to learn more about workforce development. You can do that in emails. You can do that in Adobe too. When you create a PDF, you can create links inside the PDF document. So those are things that you need to be mindful when you're creating these documents. Next slide. And then I think about the power of our people, right? And I shared with you a little bit like, okay, let's back forward. Let's go back. So why Memorial had a bad news break in the community, like bad news broke out there. People were saying kids are dying in the intensive care unit, in the neonatal intensive care unit of the hospital. And you can Google it, it's out there. That was the narrative that was out there, okay? And that was not the case. One child had passed away in the NICU. And of course, that's horrible news. Nobody wants a child to die. Like, that's not what we're here for. We're here to save lives. And the news were all over the place. We couldn't speak. Our marketing team couldn't talk anything. We can only continue moving forward and continue doing the work that we do and continue providing care. But our pediatric unit and our labor and delivery unit and our NICU unit, we're seeing a decrease of patients. People were not bringing their kids here. They were willing to drive hours to go to the other hospital, which was either Children's or it was either Orange County Children. So it was becoming challenging for the patient. We had to pivot. We had to continue doing what we did. But or comadres, we had a group of ladies that we call the comadres. The hospital has a mile radius that you can walk around the hospital, and we have markers to tell you if you're halfway through the mile, you're a quarter of a mile, you made it, you walk a mile today. So there was a group of ladies that would walk around the hospital every morning. They heard the bad news. And they were like, that's not true. Like, we see there's always kids coming to the hospital. They were the ones that started talking about the good things. Then these ladies will always have cafecito. In the corner, there was a coffee shop. Nowadays it's Monarca. There's a Monarca on First Street and Boyle. So the ladies came back to us and said, hey, you know what? So you can talk about what's happening. And it's true, we couldn't say anything about the case. Until this day, we can't say anything about what happened. But the ladies were, you can have informational meetings about what the hospital does do, what programs you currently have, and what can patients do when they come to a hospital. What can they expect? And if people have questions, you give them the opportunity to ask their questions, even if you cannot answer the question. But it was these ladies that came to us and said, you can speak, but can you at least tell us what you currently do, what programs you provide, what services you have? And don't do them at the hospital since nobody wants to see you guys. I mean, these ladies were telling us how it is, right? They said, come to our church. So we went to a couple of Catholic churches. We went to a couple of Christian church, Pentecostal churches. There's a Seventh-day Adventist church across the street. They opened their doors for us to come and have town hall meetings and let them ask questions, and we were able to answer questions. We also were able to do presentations at the Chamber of Commerce about what the hospital does, what services we provide. We couldn't answer questions about the case, but we can at least show them that we're here to serve you. And we can serve you better if you tell us what your needs are. So being present, and then we had social groups, and all of this was being shared through email. We had email, we had flyers in our community center, information center. On Facebook, they were posting, because Facebook was popular. We were posting, there's gonna be a town hall coming. We will post that. And then the churches and the places that were hosting the town halls, they also have flyers in their locations. So all this, the power of our people, I will say in a matter of 3 months, because it was summer, we were able to see an increase of patient usage in those areas. We were able to also communicate with our donors. We call our donors and we said, we can't share much with you, but we want you to know this bad news broke out there. And we're gonna have some town halls and we'll share the flyers with you. Can you share with others? So any social media, any presence that you can have, physical presence that you can have at your local organizations or neighboring organizations, share, because the more you share about what the impact of your programs, the better for you. Other people that may be interested in your organization will hear about it. So that's like a marketing campaign that you're doing without really doing much. It's you repurposing the programs that you already have, the flyers that you already have. Next slide. And then you can also use them to fundraise. So after this news broke, everything went forgotten about it. People move on like anything else, especially if you live in LA, everything is in Hollywood. Like it's like a celebrity thing here. It's all over the news. But the people that we met, the Chamber of Commerce, the people that we met through our town hall meetings, we were able to do a fundraising campaign with them. We were able to, when we launched our Plan Giving program in 2016, guess who was the first group of people that we started with? The ladies at the community center, they were coming for Zumba. So I went and did a presentation with them about Plan Giving and share with them, you don't have to be a millionaire to give a gift of $10,000 or more through your state. And so you think about that, and then you can use fundraisers as mailers. And I say mailers, although I will tell you, you have to be very strategic about that if you're doing a mailer. If you're doing it for your donor base, your current donors, then it's strategic. You're sharing something. Maybe you're sending a newsletter that you can create. You send a newsletter. Maybe you do an impact report. And your impact report doesn't have to be an impact newsletter. Let me share something with you really quick. Only because I have it handy, but my company had an impact report recently. And this is what they had for the whole organization, right? They're sharing stats on the back. But for the first time, they worked with the fund development team. And they started, they wanted to share where are we located and how many people we serve. And the age, the demographics of the people that we serve. And we started making sure that we focus on our donors, because they had never before included the donors. So we included the donors in one of the pages, and we included too, who are our donors? Like where are they giving their money? But then it's a thank you. Here's the list of donors, and we incorporated the kids, like the stories and the faces of the people that they're impacting. Wanted to make sure that we were inclusive. So if you look at it, there's not much to it. There's not color. It's just listing the donors. But this was like, we wanted to make sure that they visually see who are we serving. And the reason I share this with you is because sometimes we think it has to be a huge book. I've done it both ways. This huge book, but before we even send it, we didn't print that many. We only did, we only printed 100. 50 went up north and 50 stay in Southern California. The rest of it, it's actually living in our website. And what we did is we sent an email to our donors saying, we would love to share this impact report with you. Click here. And it's the link to the page where the website, where the impact report lives. And in the impact report, of course, since it's our website, in the corner, it says donate. There's a button for donate in case they would like to donate. But thinking about that, you can also just do a one pager. At Y Memorial, we didn't have the funding to do a printing. Even here, that's why we only printed 100. But we did it online. And there's Flipbook. You can have a Flipbook account. You can create books on Canva as well. Even the slides on Canva, you can do a PowerPoint, and when you send the link, it becomes like a slide. It becomes like a Flipbook itself, full of slides. So at Y Memorial, we did a one pager. We didn't have the budget with a double-sided pager, and it said impact report. And it was just about the workforce development program. And I had a picture of the students, and I worked really close with the program manager that ran that program to give me the 5 bullet points of what your program does. I'm raising money, but I wanted her to be the one writing it. Why? Because she's the program manager. She's hearing the stories of the students that are walking through her door that may be taking a bus to get to the hospital. I don't know those stories. She knows them. So I created it, I put something together, but guess what? I did an impact report for the 5 programs because I wanted to send the one on workforce development to my banks. And I wanted to send the one on family medicine to the doctors that support medical students. So I created one pager for each group of donors. So this is why your database is so important, that you take a look at your database and see where your donors are so that you can target the message. The message is targeting the demographic, your donor, the needs of your donor. You're meeting the donor where they are. Next slide. And then I put this here, the one page that I added here, you see how I put Amazon Smile, and it says that this continued in 2023. I left it there because I actually had one of our directors here at Pacific Clinics yesterday mentioned to me, hey, I'm shopping through Pacific Clinics Amazon Smile. And I'm like, that no longer exists. So if you were not aware, you've never heard of Amazon Smile, don't worry about it. But if you heard of it, then do know that in February 2023, they discontinued that program. And what Amazon decided to do was they will send you a check of a lump sum for whatever amount you will receive in 1 year. And then after that, they discontinued the program. Now they have like some sort of grant available. I don't know much about their grant giving program, but through Amazon Smile, people had the opportunity to purchase, and any purchase you have, 0.5% of the purchase will be donated to your favorite nonprofit. And we had an account at White Memorial during that time. We did it. We wouldn't get a lot of money. It was like $12, $10 here and there. And it was really because our marketing or medical education team was pretty much the one using it to order supplies for the medical students. So, or they would share it among the medical students. So not everybody would use it, but it's no longer available. However, you can use a wish list on Amazon and share that with your donors. Like, hey, here's a wish list. If you like to support us outside of these ways, you can still support us, and you can put the link there to your wish list. And I think it's still through your organization. You can do a wish list. And that's nice. We do it for holiday. So when we want to receive donations for the students, we want to make sure our donors know exactly what we're looking for so that they're not guessing. These are kids from ages 5 to 13. This is what they're looking for. And it's in our wish list. That way they're not guessing. They can just go in there and order the item for us. And then we see the name of the donor when it comes in. So, and then since the fundraisers are remote, It also comes to one place. It's all hosted in one place, and the fundraisers come once a week, go through it and see what they can do to thank the donor. But that's pretty much it, what I have to share with you. I always like to end with a quote. Inspiration doesn't favor those who sit still. Let's go places. This was a quote highly used by Toyota. They used it for a long time in one of their marketing campaigns. And let's go places, and you imagine a truck already driving, right? Like it's just, but I always think about that because if you need inspiration, if you need something to do, or if you're thinking, oh, I have nothing, I don't know, just going into Canva, creating your nonprofit account, and insert there one of your flyers, or just recreate this. This is how you can get started, and it ignites something in you when you're in there. I am not an expert on marketing. My background is not marketing, but I cannot tell you how many times I rely on Canva, and when I present the things that I present, people are like, oh my gosh, that's so fancy. I'm like, it was Canva. Like, I'm not gonna take 100% of the credit, but once you're in there, you find it so easy to start moving things, and oh, let me add this picture, or it's amazing how much inspiration you get, and the final product, you feel proud of yourself. You feel like you're a designer, even though that's not, you didn't go to school for it. And then I think about this, you cannot get through a single day without having an impact on the world around you. Believe it or not, even you walking on the grass has an impact on the environment. Even you being outdoors or staying still in your home has an impact. What you do makes a difference, and you have to decide what kind of difference you want to make. And I love that because more than ever today, I want you to know that whatever it is that you're doing in your organization, small or big, it has a big impact on the people that you're serving. It has a big impact on the communities that you're serving. And even you as a fundraiser, being able to be here today, this is a great network of support. You have ideas, you have questions. These are the experts. You yourself are an expert, and you may have an idea and may be kind of like hesitant. Should I do it? Should I do it? Reach out among yourselves and tell them, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. And I've done this with a couple of the members that have gone through Somos. And we were once in an elevator talking about a campaign on social media. And the guy is like, hey, I do a big event on Dia de los Muertos. And he was like, we added a wellness component to get some supporters, and we got a $10,000 sponsor without asking. I'm like, oh, that's great. Have you ever considered doing an online Dia de los Muertos wall? And he was like, what? I'm like, think about it. You sell the Dia de los Muertos, people pay, they will have to pay at the event to add the photo of their loved one in the altar on the wall. So I told him, but what about if I'm in California, not in Chicago, and I want to be part of that, and I would like my dad's photo to be in your wall, and I cannot go to Chicago? He's like, I never thought about it. So sharing this, he was like, you know what, this is a great idea. And last year, for the first time, they did their online Dia de los Muertos along with the day in person, so they can expand their donor reach. And they send it out to all their database, people that were from the community and outside the community, inviting them to buy a spot in their online wall. And now their page live for that year online in honor of their loved ones, in memory of their loved ones. So these are like ideas that come out, creative ideas that come out on how do you use media, how do you use what you currently have in a creative way. Any questions? Oh, and that's outdated. Ignore the organization. That is my former organization. I knew I missed something, Pavel. I told Pavel, I don't know. Let me check my slides. No, I only saw one. I totally did not look at the question slide. But my personal email and my cell phone are there. I always leave that. I am currently the director of major gifts at Pacific Clinics, and somebody shared the impact report for the organization So you can take a look at it as well, how it looks online, to get some ideas of how it looks. But honestly, we didn't print it. We sent it to our donors. We invested the time on creating the PDF so that we can send it later through email to our donors. Anything? Anyone?
Yes, hola, Yuri, ¿cómo estás? It's good to see you. Pavel, Armando, good to see you all. Thank you so much. It's always very informative and helpful. So I have a meeting with the donor in mid-August. They went to our annual Miss and Mr. Safe Latino. It's a LGBTQ trans event that's beautiful. The winner of that event represents the Latinx LGBTQ trans community in the San Francisco Gay Parade. So it's like this beautiful, beautiful event. And a person, which we did not know until after the fact, because we did the QR code for the first time, because anyway, that night we received $3,000 from one person. And then after doing some research, I'm like, who's this person? And we found out she is the founder of a law firm representing vulnerable communities, immigrant Latinos in asylum cases. So what is the best, what is the package I should prepare for her? I've already outreached. Her personal assistant is setting up a lunch because I invited her. I sent an email, invited her to lunch, would like to talk more. So I'm just wondering, make sure I have all the right material to make sure that I have. And, we have our annual report and we have, what else do we have? Our newsletter. But what are the most important things I should consider when preparing that packet when I go meet her? And maybe what are the, I just want to get to know her and find out, why did she get there? How did she find out about it? What spoke to her most to kind of better understand how to engage with her later?
This is a good exercise for major gifts. And I will say, you might want to type your questions because you want to ask open-ended questions that will really allow her the time to respond, to give you more about herself, who she is, and what moved her to come to the event if she gave at the event. Who brought her to the event? If you don't know that yet, it would be nice to find out who brought her to the event. Because whoever brought her to the event has this type of friends. She's not the only friend. They might have more friends like her. The other piece, so I would say type out your questions, like 5 questions, not too many, so you don't overwhelm her, because you want to listen to what she has to say. But one thing that you always want to have in even if it's your newsletter or your program report, it's the one section in that newsletter. If there's an impact story about someone whose life was transformed, who you were there for when they needed you the most, instead of her looking for that story or going through the whole newsletter, put a little tab on that section where you want her to read it.
Okay.
Also the impact report. If you have your annual report, maybe you want to highlight the demographics, whatever it is in your report that you have that has the most information about the work you do. Like we raise, not so much how much you raise, but we save X amount of students. We visited X amount of, we provided X amount of mental health well-being seminars to kids going through transition. Like things like that, you want to put a little tab in there. And make sure your business card is attached to it as well. Even if you give it to her, you want to attach your business card to that little section where you want her to see it and read it. And I say that because that you can always use that as a follow-up. After you meet, you can always ask, but always ask follow-up questions, like questions that she's gonna give you more about herself. One question that my colleague asked, we had a donor visit last week, and I'm learning from her as well. And she asked the donor, nobody knew about the father. Everybody knew about the father. It's a legacy gift, right? A legacy family. Everybody knew about the father, but nobody knew the whereabouts of the mother. And nobody knew how to ask, is she still alive?
Mm-hmm.
My colleague was like, so what's going on with your mom? What did she used to do? And it says, you're an attorney. What got you into being an attorney?
Mm-hmm.
What's your why? And they start opening up about themselves. And it was funny because the lady's like, my mom, she's dancing Zumba. She's 92. Pull out her phone and show us a video of her mom dancing Zumba. It created that personal connection with the donor, but it's really asking those questions. So you have to really pay attention to what they're telling you. And in our case, we knew that nobody knew about the mom. So we all had to, everybody was like, who's gonna ask? And nobody know how to ask. And my colleague was like, I'll ask the question. But she was very creative about it. Like, so what's up with your mom? What did she used to do? And she like that, very candid.
Yeah. So in
Um,
terms of strategy, I was planning to send well, I already sent the email and then she sent me straight to her personal assistant I'm going through our top 13 donors. And so I
okay.
was planning to send an email and then follow up with a voicemail. Like
So
how long should I wait for the call?
you shouldn't wait for the call. As soon as she sends you to the administrative assistant,
Oh yeah, no, I already contacted. No, but for my future ones, I have
for
12
your
other people.
yeah, so this is what I was gonna tell you. For your future donors, if you're starting with an email, when you send the email, in your email include, would you be open to meet X date at this time at this place?
Uh,
Give them 3 dates, the exact same time, and the location. When you look at the location, think about their business, the address that you have in your database. Look at restaurants around that address that
okay.
is close to them, that it's nearby, and
Oh,
not like
make it
stop.
easy. Make it
Make it
easy.
for them to not say no.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you, I will always say, end the sentence with, would you be willing to meet for me? Would you like to meet? I would like to take you to lunch. Would you be available July 20th at, or July 26th, or Monday, July 26, 29 at 12 p.m. at Hollywood Cafe or something like you, but that location that you're providing, it's somewhere near their business or near their work, their home. It's a place that they will know, and always pick a place that allows reservations. Because then you can call ahead and make a reservation for that date. But we noticed that that's been very successful for us. I am starting at a new shop and a lot of our donors were not engaged, and we're starting with our top 300. And we're working our way through the list, and we're sending an introduction email to them like, hey, thank you so much for your past support. I'm new to the organization, would love to give you an update on where we are today, and would love to take you to coffee or lunch. And with some, I say coffee because if it's an attorney, for example, I know they have cases in the morning. So I will not offer mornings. I will not offer lunch. I might offer afternoon coffee with them. Willing to meet at 3, depending on who the donor is, the little bit you know about the donor, and put it in that sentence. Give them dates and time. Otherwise, they will send you to the assistant. Or if they send you to the assistant, at least you already have dates. I'm looking for these dates, and it's dates that you're available already. Make it easy for them.
Thank you.
But the strategy we have, you know what? I'll send it to Anna. We do have, I don't think I have it here. Let me see if I have it in my computer and upload it here. We have a little, it's a 45 templates on emails that you can send to donors
Oh, cool.
on how to get your first meeting. And let me see if I have it on my computer. I tend to have it on my desktop. And I like keep, yep, I have it here. Let me see if I can share. I don't know if that I can share a document. I think I can I attach something?
You can drop it in the chat.
I'm trying to,
If it's a document, you might have to open it up in Google Doc and then send the link.
Oh, okay, so let me do that then. But it's 45 email templates to get
Nice.
you first. And one of the things that they recommend, and what I love is that it tells you, you send your email and in 2 days, you send a follow-up email, and in 3 days, you make a phone call.
Okay, that's what the sequence is.
The
Okay,
sequence, it's like first introduction email, second, third day, follow-up. Fifth day, so in a week, you reach out to this donor, the same donor 3 times.
okay.
And then after the phone call, they didn't get your phone call, then another follow-up email. And it was it's very I'm trying to see if I think I have an email on this.
So you said third day follow-up with so you send the original email, third day follow-up with a phone call or an email?
The third email. You do a follow-up email before you do the phone call.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, and I'm trying to find, so I created a cheat sheet. I'm trying to find it and I cannot find it. I created a cheat sheet for work because we're sharing the best practices with our team.
Uh-huh.
And somebody in our team was like, hey, I got it. I have 5 points, 5 bullet points of the steps that you need to make to secure your meeting.
Okay.
Anna, can I send it to you and you can share it with the whole team? Because I do have
Sure.
that. Yeah, that email with the 45 templates, it's really good. It's a book. It's an 89-page book, but I'll send you the 5 bullet points and then the whole email. So you can email the book when you have time, but the 5 steps are pretty cool. It's effective. I done it. That's what I'm currently doing. And I've already gone through the whole list. We had 850 names to go through. We went down to 300. And so far we've been able to secure at least 10 meetings already between my colleague and I on donors that haven't heard from us in the last 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah, so it works. I mean, if you follow the process, it works.
And that guide has, so once you're there, I think probably, I don't know, I don't want to talk for everybody, but I think one of the things that we most get stuck on is how to ask for the donation. A la brava, but it's probably primero, right? Relationship building, ¿quién eres? And what are you interested in? And da da da. Pero luego, like, how do you know it's time to ask?
So it is said that in the 5th meeting, you will make an ask.
The 5th meeting.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
and I say that because the first meeting might be the one that might take you 3 months to secure. It's the one that you're making phone calls. And I have a donor that I reached out to in March and didn't hear anything. I did my follow-up, I followed through. And then right now I came back from vacation and I just did another follow-up. And the donor responded to me and said, hey, I'm available. I sent an email to her before I went on vacation, which was June 12th. And she was like, oops, sorry, I didn't see your email. I had sent it many times. But I was like, I'm gonna do one more try because this name keeps coming, so I'm just gonna try again. And she responded and she met with me. But that started in March and I'm just meeting with her in July. I met with her last week.
Okay.
So that's what takes time. Now that I met with her, I know more about her. She's gonna introduce me to some people. Out of the conversation, she's like, oh my God, you need to talk to so-and-so. They have so much money. They can give you introductions. Like it's that conversation and that
¿Quién conoces? Your networks, the networks.
yeah, like so that's why I say you need to ask your friend, that attorney, how did you come to this event? How did you hear about us? What moved you to give this gift? And you'll be surprised. She might end up sharing something about a family member that transitioned. She might be sharing about a friend, a partner. It's amazing the things that you can find. And these are discovery questions. That's what we call them. And how do you know when to ask? You're telling her every time you're meeting with them, you're telling them about the new initiatives that you have. Because when you're presenting to them new initiatives, then you're telling them, I'm looking for support for these coming programs. You're already planting the seed. And then in the next meeting, or maybe after your meeting, you'll follow up through an email, like, I will share more with you about this specific initiative based on what she tells you she likes about your organization.
Hmm.
Like my donor I met last week, she was so open, and then at the end, she's like, I donate through, I had already seen that she donates through our Asian Pacific Family Center, because that's where her interest is. And so I started talking to her about that, and she's like, oh yeah, I volunteer there. I didn't know that. She's like, I volunteer at the Pacific Center, at the Asian Pacific, because I am Asian, and my family, she started sharing her background. So open questions so that they can tell you more about their background. Now I am preparing to ask her for a gift. And she told me up front, I tell you, I have no money. And I was like, I'm not here to ask you for money. I'm here to get to know you. I want to know what moved you to support our organization. Actually, to thank you. You gave us a gift in December 2024, and I was really moved by your gift. I want to know what moved you to make this gift. And that started our conversation. And did I lie? No, I'm not there for a gift. I'm really getting to know her. But now, if I ever plan to ask her for a gift in December, which is the plan because she always makes a gift in December, it will be a gift very strategically. I will ask her for the Asian Pacific program, and I will ask her more than what she's given in the past 3 years.
Hmm.
Because
Okay.
you're meeting with people that are already giving you. These are not new people that don't know you. So they have an affinity for your organization.
Mhm.
But you getting to know them, talking to them will tell you when is the right time. Of course, I always say the 5th meeting, because the next meeting might be via Zoom. The following one might be an update on the program. The 4th one might be, we are looking for champions, and we would like you to consider making a gift. And getting a feel of what the response is for that, so that then you go back to the office and they strategize about what the right ask is for that donor.
Okay, so this is really helpful in terms of the languaging, because I think that's, looking for champions, and like those specific wording is, I think, what is helpful. To have it in our toolbox, right?
Yeah,
How do you make them feel good and the role that they play?
yeah, and I
Okay.
will say that I believe you guys, Pavel, correct me if I'm wrong, but do they have a major gift presentation?
We do. I mean, I think cold calling might be more relevant. So we've done the major gift presentation
Okay,
already. Yeah. So the actual
yeah,
practice. Yeah.
okay, and cold calling is done by Armando, right?
Correct.
Okay, Armando is really good at that. The cold calling class, and he will, I don't know if he makes you do it anymore, but sometimes he will make you practice with him.
He
But
does.
the cold calling is really good because it will generate those interactions that you may have with donors.
Muchas gracias.
De nada. All right, everybody, take care.
Thank you so much, Yuri.
Bye.